Just two brief announcements. I know anyone affiliated with the Middletown football program is disappointed, but what a great achievement. Truly. Back-to-back trips to the state finals. That's a wonderful, absolutely. You know, the Pittsburgh Steelers, some of you have fans out here that are Pittsburgh Steelers, you know how they are. The football teams are just like that. Oh yeah, it's hard to compete against that, but in any event, it's a great achievement. Also, Christmas, in 2 weeks, believe it or not, is Christmas. My youngest brother Dan, called me the other day. We were talking, and he said, Ted, he goes, what do we do for Christmas? Because it falls on a Monday. So we have to go to Mass on Sunday and Monday. Sorry, guys. I can't do anything about it. But you know, you can't go on Sunday evening and have a count for both, because that's Christmas Eve, right? So, you know, somehow I can only promise you I will do my best to keep the Sunday morning masses somewhat brief, because I know how difficult that weekend is. But it is. We have to go on Sunday and then again on Christmas, okay? I was reading an article this past week on a priest going to the post office. And he was getting Christmas stamps, and so he asked the clerk, and it was in a large city. He didn't tell where he was, nor did he tell his name, because he didn't really want to but he was getting, so he asked the clerk for Christmas stamps. So the clerk gave him a winter scene. And he said, no, I was looking for some Christmas stamps. And then she came out with a snowman. And he paused a minute and he said, ma'am, I really would like some Christmas stamps. And he emphasized it, and she brought out some with some candles. And he said, do you have any religious stamps? And she said, oh yeah. And she brought out a Madonna and the Child. But the priest walked away and thinking, wow, isn't that amazing? We have Christmas, and then we have religious Christmas. And that's what we're dealing with today, isn't it? You know, their society today, this Christmas really isn't anything to do with faith or religion. It's just there. It says all this stuff, you know, but it has nothing to do with anything with our faith. And we have to really watch that, my friends, because it's a religious holiday, Christmas. Yes, there's gifts, there's decorations, there's cookies, there's all that. But it's a religious holiday, my friends, that we can't exclude, and we must not. We must not. In Michigan, in the peninsula, in the upper portion of it, of Lake Superior, there's actually a town called Christmas. And I just Googled it, I don't know anything about it. But there's a sign approaching it as you get off the exit to the main road going into Christmas. It says, approaching Christmas, go slow. And I thought, what a great sign. Approaching Christmas, go slow. I think it'd be good for us to do the same, like slow down every now and then, read something spiritual, say some prayers. It's a good thing to reconnect about what this season is all about. Because we all have these amazing lists, amazing things to do. It's good to pull back. We're approaching Christmas soon. Let's go a little slower. There's a man that had a jewelry shop, and in the front of it, he had on display was a beautiful Switzerland clock. It was really for decorative purposes, and the clock didn't really work. So about every hour, he would go and change the hands of it to make it look like it's functioning and working. And for 2 years he did this. The man across the street had a different store, and he was watching this going on. And finally, after Christmas, he said to, Jim, he goes, I've been watching you for 2 years. He said, every hour you go up and you switch that clock in the hands to make it look a little more accurate. He said, why don't you get it fixed? He said, oh, no, I don't want to do that. That's too much work and effort. he ended up getting it fixed, and it was a token of a price, and it was very minimal. But I thought, that's what we do, isn't it? Like we put so much effort in how I look and what I'm wearing, how things are decorated. And meanwhile, we're got all this stuff in here, don't we, that's dragging us down. And we have a lot of stuff in here. But we don't want to deal with that because that's too much work and effort. But the rest of our life would go a whole lot better if we did. If we dealt with what's going on in here and all that pain and stuff that we carry with us. That's what this season's all about, right? Getting rid of that. Trying to get rid of some of that. Blocking that out. Confession's a great way to do that. It truly is, my friends. In the bulletin, there's an examine as we're reading the book on Scott Hahn. He's having to talk about an old Christian thing called the Examine-In. It takes 3 minutes every day. Review your day. It's a great thing. So just read it in the bulletin. Penance service, 2 o'clock. Lay half a dozen priests here. There's no service. I get it that you want to go to the, like the priest me. I get that. That's not a bad thing. But this is your opportunity to go to a priest that you may know or may not know and unburden your heart. Unburden your heart. It's a great thing. I hear Confessions 436 if you can't go this Sunday, but this Sunday gives you an opportunity to go to a priest that you can really be honest and unburden those things inside us. If you look outside the church, the manger's empty. The manger's empty. And there's a reason for that, because it's a symbol of we're waiting, we're preparing for the Christ child to come into our hearts. Our lives are supposed to mimic that. Our hearts are just like that manger, waiting and preparing them for the Christ child to come inside us. God bless you.